Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I guess it's good afternoon to some of you. I'm Tom Stenzel. I'm president of the United Fresh Produce Association. I really do appreciate you joining us today to learn a little bit more about United Fresh Live. Let me start with the big picture. Why did United Fresh Board of Directors make a decision to go virtual? I think the easier choice would have been simply postpone or cancel our meeting. But at the end of the day, we felt that now more than ever, it's important to make connections across our industry. It's important to bring our community together in whatever best way we can. And over the last several weeks, we've been working as hard as we know how to put together an opportunity for you in the industry to connect with one another for all of the things that you would look forward to in a regular convention and trade show. So I'll give you a top line vision of what we are going to be producing for you, and then I'll turn it over to some of my colleagues to chat about how you can take advantage of this opportunity. So as I said, everything that you would expect in a normal convention and trade show. We're going to have live general sessions all week long. June 15th, Monday through Friday, we'll have a general session which features great programming, live programming at noon Eastern time every day. We'll also have a series of workshops throughout the week that are live taking place so that you can participate, ask questions, get all the information you would normally get. We're going to have coffee talks, so roundtable discussions in the morning where you can come into small groups and just have a discussion with people who might share common interest. And we're going to have our community receptions and maybe a happy hour or two thrown in during the week. So it's going to be a great week. Why are we delivering all of that content? Because that is also what's going to draw people together to connect. So we have, in just 3 weeks, registered more than 1,500 people for this trade show, United Fresh Live. Those people, you'll be amazed to hear this, over 50% of them have never been to a produce trade show. So these are individuals who maybe couldn't afford to travel. We've been talking with a number of our retail customers who would normally send 5 or 6 people from their teams to a convention, but now all 25 or 30 of their buyers, every commodity buyer, can be online with us. So we're going to be live online all week long. Great opportunity for you to connect, which my colleagues will walk you through. And even beyond that, one of the new things that we've learned with this is we're not just talking about 2 hours in a trade show or 5 hours in a city. We're talking about creating a platform that is available to you and for you to connect with customers and colleagues 24/7. It's another huge advantage of virtual. I don't think any of us expected this silver lining that now a produce buyer can go online when they're at home in the evening and have a little extra time. Everybody is so rushed right now. So it's not just the time period that you're going to be live online that week. It really does include 24/7 access where you can connect with one another, reach out to each other, and do business. Because, this has been a terrible crisis in so many ways. Our businesses have suffered. Many of our families have suffered and friends, but we still have to do business. And I'll just take this moment to thank all of you for keeping the produce business going, from the front lines all the way through back to the growers. The growers are now on the front line. Everybody that's part of this amazing distribution chain that has kept fresh produce coming in ample supply. So thank you for what you're doing. I'd now like to introduce Maida Sotomayor, who is the CEO of Sealed Suite. Maida is a member of the executive committee of our board of directors, and Maida would like to share a little bit of her thinking about this new virtual trade show. Maida?
Thank you, Tom. When I was on the executive committee and they first presented, the staff presented this opportunity, we really we were all doing a Zoom so we all could see our faces, and we kind of went, are you crazy? This will never work. This is unheard of. We've never done this before. And when staff actually showed us and walked us through some of the virtual things that can happen in a virtual convention, we were amazed. And then all the things, all the possibilities that we could see happen. And the fact, mainly, a very important part is the fact that now we can get growers from all over the world that normally could not have traveled or had not been part of the United in the past, or retailers, as Tom mentioned, people, produce managers that might not have traveled, that today now can go online and see the company that they now put on their produce shelves. So I think overall we were taken aback, and when we started thinking about possibilities, this was a few months ago, so still a lot of the happy hours hadn't started. But I know all of us have been to at least one or maybe several happy hours since then, and we can see how good it could be to join and network and see people face to face. So Seal Suite has not been a part of a trade show for United for a long time. And we decided to sign up because we felt that the opportunities here were immense and that we wanted to take part of something so unique and really one of a kind. Um, the staff honestly have put this together in a very short period of time. And I know that they're all there waiting and helping for us to be able to get the best bang for our buck, so to speak, and be able to make it fun. I think our team here is thinking about ways that we can make it trivia, and we can think of things that we could enhance our booth experience that before we never had an opportunity. So we're looking forward to it. I think that it's a big undertaking, but if anybody can do it, it's going to be the United staff. And I have all the confidence in the world that this is going to be something for us to, I don't think it will ever replace meeting and hugging and shaking hands and seeing each other face to face, but it sure will be a nice added benefit that I think we can all use right now. So thank you, Tom, for giving me the opportunity to speak my piece and tell everybody what I thought.
Well, Maida, thank you so much. It's great to have you as a United Fresh Live exhibitor and a leader from our board. It was really an amazing reaction. Maida described it well. So let me now turn it over to my colleague, Mary Coppola. Mary is our Vice President of Marketing and Communications. Mary, talk a little bit about the opportunities that you see in the marketing realm with this new platform.
Yes, thank you, Tom. And thank you, Tom and Maida, for teeing up this opportunity to talk to you all. One housekeeping note before we go much further is that if you have questions, we are going to get to them today. Please use the question and answer opportunity here in Zoom. We will monitor them and answer them as we go forward. I do want to back up and talk a little bit about the audience and this opportunity for us as marketers. Tom mentioned the 1,500 folks that are already registered, and we're anticipating over 5,000 on the platform by the time we get to June 15th. Not only are these folks that have not been able to travel in person to the event in the past, but they're also folks around the globe. We have attendees registered currently from 6 continents. That's unbelievable and certainly unheard of in an in-person event at United Fresh to date. So we're looking forward to engaging these folks, and it really is a testament to the fact that we're going to be available as a platform 24/7. That allows everybody in any time zone to access the content that you as an exhibitor can host in your booth. I want to talk a little bit about the schedule. We have what we're calling the Expo Power Hours, and those are taking place on Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We've set these hours because it's our commitment that we will not be hosting any conflicting content throughout the schedule. It's a rather robust schedule if you haven't looked at it yet online at unitedfreshlive.org. But it really is the opportunity for you to take that 2 hours each day and make the most of the opportunities and the quality of content and folks that are going to be participating in United Fresh Live. So we're working with our retail and food service buyer communities and operations buyer communities to ensure that they understand those are the 2 hours that they can be most committed to exploring your booth and seeing whether you're hosting an executive from your staff during those 2 hours, or you're launching a new product or service and you want to highlight it during those 2 hours. that's when they know that the bells and whistles are really going to be rolled out for them on the platform each day. But again, it's 24/7. So you're going to want to think about how you can utilize your booth space to archive what you do on Monday, so somebody coming back Tuesday can see what you've already hosted, as well as experience what Tuesday has to offer. We're also suggesting that you think about how you can utilize 5 different days of content throughout United Fresh Live. As a basic exhibitor, you can put up a booth and you don't have to change your content if you don't want to. You can engage folks as they come in. But if you really want to put some strategy behind it, you can think about what you can host each day, changing your content and inviting new audiences to discover Monday through Friday. So we've created a marketing guide. It's on our website. It'll be in our follow-up notes. It features all of the other strategies that we're also outlining for the transition to a virtual platform, because we know, just as you know, that the transition from in-person to virtual is not a quick flip of the switch. The strategy itself takes a lot of thought. It takes a lot of teamwork, and we're here to help you and work with you to make sure that's a success for your investment. So with that, I want to show you what it's going to look like. So I'm going to invite Bethany Jarris, our digital marketing manager, to share her screen and show you what you can expect from United Fresh Live.
Great. Thanks so much, Mary, for lining all that up for me. So today I get the privilege to show you all a sneak peek into what the live platform is going to look like, as well as what your booth could look like, and then a little preview into how easy it is to set a booth up in this platform. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you all. Okay. So what we have here is the United Fresh Live lobby. So when you log into the platform as an attendee of the event, this is the place you're going to come to first. So as you can see, it looks similar to what it might look like in an in-person trade show. You're walking in, you're seeing different locations, different areas for help, some branding, things like that. So to just walk you through this lobby a little bit and show you how you can get around to different parts of the event. There's several ways to do that from this space. So first, you're going to be able to see these general sessions, workshops, the expo, similar over here. You'll be able to click on those areas to navigate to the different locations around the event. Secondly, we have the navigation up here across the top. Similar to a navigation on a regular website, you'll be able to click through, go to the drop downs and navigate to the different locations. So to explain what some of these are, the first, My Profile. That's how you're going to access your profile information, your contact information, upload a photo, things like that, go back and reference conversations you might have had with other attendees. The second, Lobby, again, that's just like a home button to get you back to this main space. These next two, Fresh Market and Fresh Tech, those are going to be how you get into the Fresh Market and Fresh Tech Expo halls. So both of these will have a drop down, with Fresh Market being organized by alpha order, and then Fresh Tech being categorized. So you'll be able to click into either of those and enter the Expo halls. Then we have general sessions and workshops. So those are going to take you into the different types of education that we're going to have available throughout the week. Next is networking. So that's going to click you over into some of those spaces that Tom talked about, like those community receptions and coffee talks, and of course the happy hours. And then honorees, that's where you can go to find more information about all of the award winners we're going to be recognizing throughout the week. And then prizes, of course, is going to link you into some different opportunities and games that we're going to be hosting. The third element that's really important in this lobby is this search bar right here. So this platform has a really awesome and robust search feature that's going to help an attendee come in and really find what they're looking for. And that's in regards to both booth that an exhibitor has, as well as education. So say someone's coming in and they're looking for packaging, they can go ahead and put that in this bar right here and search for it. And it's going to bring up any relevant education, and then of course exhibitors, so that an attendee can start going through that list and learning about different opportunities around that topic. So now I'm sure you're wondering, what does one of the expo halls look like? So let's say that we clicked up here on Fresh Market and went to one of the expo halls. You're gonna come to something like this. So you see we have the field image in the background, and then there's all these logos here at the bottom. Each one of these links into this person's booth. And then Fresh Tech looks very similar. We just have a different background here, but again, each one of these clicks into a person's booth. So now let's say we selected one of those and click into one. It's gonna look something like this. So for all of the base level exhibitors in the platform, you can go ahead and develop a booth that looks like this. So you see there's several different branding opportunities. We have logo space, a box here that you can put either a photo or a video in. You have the ability to chat with any attendees coming into your booth. And then over here, you're gonna organize any resources and brochures and PDFs and things about your brand, really anything that you want an attendee to be able to access when they come into your booth. So for a second, I wanna pivot over and show you all what it looks like to build something that looks like this. So clicking into this, this is the booth builder. So this is how you set up what we were just looking at. So it's very simple and user-friendly tool. All you need to do to set that up is walk through these 12 steps. So the first just being name, you're putting in your company name, you're selecting the style of the background, you're picking a primary and secondary color, you're putting a logo in this space. Again, you can put either a photo or a video here. You're putting in a brief summary about your company, which will appear both in your booth and in the exhibitor directory, again, helping you be found easier. And then you're gonna start uploading those documents, those resources, and organizing them into tabs. And the tabs don't stop just at documents. Within these tabs, you can link to your website, to your blog, to your social media channels. You can embed forms so people can subscribe. You can put surveys in here so people can participate in a giveaway or answer some questions you might have. You can host chats and message boards so you can talk about current industry topics. And then you can have a video collection to post the best videos to help people learn about your brand and what you're doing. And then of course we have a few different options. This message scrolling across the top here, you'll be able to customize that. And then in step 11, you're gonna add any staff members that you want present in your booth the week of June 15th to 19th. And that includes people on your staff as well as maybe any content experts that you wanna host throughout the week. So you could add them there, they could make an appearance in your booth, and then you could take them back out. And then lastly, search words. So going back to thinking about that search bar that I showed in the lobby, search words is gonna be a great place for you to put any relevant terms related to your brand or your company. So again, you can be found in this platform. So then pivoting back to this, let's say that you would like a little bit more advanced options for customizing the background and the look of your booth. So available to any sponsors, you can start adding different elements and changing the background outside of the booth builder. So you can see this is an option that's a little bit more enhanced. There's some additional brand opportunities down here. Some of the people present in the booth have changed. Some banners have been added to the sides. So this is all customization options available to any sponsors. But let's say you want to take it a step further and you want to put your booth out in your own field or in your own facility or wherever you think best represents your brand. You can do that. So you can see here, we've placed the booth in a field. Now, let's say you don't really like the idea of the booth living within the field. You just want to have your content and you want to have it placed into the background that you prefer. You can take that a step further and let's put your functional content in the Port of Miami, or let's put it right into your facility. So all of these are options, again, available to the sponsor level and allow you to really customize the attendee experience that they're gonna have when they enter into your booth. So that is a sneak peek into what you can expect in United Fresh Live. So I think we're probably ready for some questions now.
Great, thanks so much, Bethany. I'm going to field the question and answers, so I would encourage everyone to type in their questions into the Q&A box, and we'll start addressing them now. Mary, as a member exhibitor, is there much more we can do during the power hours outside of changing the content each day?
Absolutely. I think Bethany just touched on a couple of those quick ideas, and we certainly have several more outlined in the marketing guide that you can download on the website. But what we're encouraging folks is to think about, again, can you bring in some content experts? Can you bring in some celebrities? Can you bring in a chef who's got a recipe that they're working with you on? You could feature or host that individual in the chat that Bethany just showed you. And then you would promote that on Tuesday, you're going to have a chef who's going to talk about the recipe development that they're working on with your new product. So that would be one way you could utilize the booth. Bethany also talked about jumping out of the booth, so using links to go out to your social media account. If you wanted to host, say, a live demo of something happening in a warehouse or out in a field, you could invite people out of the booth to a Zoom that you would host through your own Zoom account. And then you can share your screen and do live demos and do live videos. And so that's another opportunity. So there is quite a bit of opportunity once you really start to, again, change that mindset and think about how a digital platform allows you everything that the digital channels you're already working in are capable of.
Great, thanks, Mary. A question for you, Bethany. Does the video on the main screen run automatically, or do you have to click on it? And do you get metrics of who watched the video on your home screen?
Sure. So if you place a video in what we call that front image, it will automatically play when an attendee comes into your booth. And then if they were to come back, it would ask them if they wanted to restart the video. But it does automatically play. And the awesome part about this virtual platform, which I didn't touch on, is that you get tons of data. So you're gonna have a data report that shows you what attendees did in your booth, where they clicked, what they clicked on, all sorts of activities like that. That will be available in real time.
Great, thanks, Bethany. We're getting quite a few questions on staffing, so I'm going to ask Mary to try to address how do you staff an exhibit? How many staff can be present on an exhibit? How do the staff interact with attendees? Can you try to talk about staffing?
Sure. So again, staffing is going to be up to you who you want in your booth and at what time. The limit on staff in a booth is 99. So that's a pretty well-staffed booth, given that an in-person show, I've never experienced 99 staff from a company in one booth. So give some thought to that strategy. But you, as you go through your booth builder, can add your staff in there on the back end. And Bethany went through that, but we also have some tutorials on the website that go into more depth of adding staff to your booth. You essentially just bring them in. Everyone should be registered with just their email address, and you can assign them as booth staff. There's a simple toggle within your booth that allows you to show that a booth staff is available in the booth, or if they've left the booth, you just toggle off and they no longer show to the attendee as available within the booth. There's multiple ways to chat within the booth. So again, this is where your staff would be paying attention to the ongoing chat, which is an open public chat within your booth. So anyone who comes in can just drop in and say, "Hey, John, I'm here. It's good to see you." And John, if he's managing that chat, can respond. But of course, everyone in that chat would see that. Or you can click on that booth staff. So if you were to come in and see that Tom Stenzel is available in our booth, you could click on it and start a private chat with Tom. Tom, it's great to see you. I've got a couple questions. And Tom, as the booth staff, can either engage with you right then and there, or he can suggest to you to come back for a meeting at a certain time. He can share a Zoom link and say, "I'm actually going to address this afternoon at 2. Why don't you join me for this Zoom opportunity?" So you have a bit of control as the booth staff to guide that, that attendee coming into your booth into a conversation one way or another.
Mary, can I add to that? One of the questions on the site, you described the chat function very well, but you can also send a message to anyone, even if they're not live. I know that's a question that's probably coming, John, but we have a number of folks who, okay, I signed on at 9 p.m. when I was at home with my cocktail, and I have a question for Maida at Sealed Suite. What do I do? So all that retail buyer has to do is click on Maida, who's another user on the site, and she'll get an alert message that you could either try to hook up then, or you can reply the next morning. So you can message any of the thousands of people on the site at any time.
Yes, exactly, Tom. Thank you.
Mary, can you talk a little bit about how you can prepare your teams for happy hours and receptions? Talk a little bit about the platform that we're going to be using that allow people to network, please.
Sure, thanks, John. So again, this is one of those opportunities that you want to make sure that you're focused on all of the other content taking place on the platform throughout the week, not just within your booth. But similar to an in-person, you would want to make sure that all of the parties are covered, that you have somebody going to each one of the happy hours and networking receptions to represent your company. So you would want to do the same here. Take a look at that schedule on unitedfreshlive.org and think about who would best be represented in the food safety reception or the international reception. And then remember, as we talk about transitioning to digital, that you'll be seeing each other in these receptions just as you can see me now. So I have to think about, do I have a branded shirt on? Do I have a branded hat? Do I do something with my background that's branded? There's multiple ways to represent your company when you're participating in conversations, visually as well as audio. So as well as what you're able to contribute to those discussions. So you'll want to give that some strategic thought as you plan who attends what throughout the week.
Great, thanks, Mary. There's quite a few questions about exhibit service and how exhibitors can access their booth. I did want to point out that we have an exhibitor resources tab on the unitedfreshlive.org where a lot of those questions can be answered. This is more for people that are interested in exhibiting. So we'll be sure to be answering those questions after the webinar. Tom, since you're on the line, you want to talk a little bit about pricing and how to become a sponsor? There's quite a few questions about what are the levels of participation in the platform.
Okay, so thanks, John. You know, one of the things, I know you have all looked at trade shows. Some of you exhibit in our shows, some in other trade shows. And the decision to exhibit is always based on a total cost package. The travel to get to the site, the hotel expenses, the entertainment expenses, how many staff people, God bless you, how many staff people you're going to have there. Well, now the main expense, almost the only expense associated with this platform is the exhibit booth fee, which we've realized is not the major decision point for most of you in the in-person events. So the basic booth is $3,700 for United Fresh members, $4,300 if you're not a member of United Fresh, and those are the same exact exhibit rates as we had before. The first step up to a bronze level sponsor is $7,500. And as Bethany showed us, if you pay at that bronze level of sponsorship, you've now got an opportunity to go in and create a whole new background, a whole new image for your private booth so that your booth is unique. There are three basic templates, so not all booths are going to look alike, but if you pay at the $7,500 bronze sponsor level or above, you'll be able to do that. I think one of the things that, you know, some people have asked me about that, well, why does it cost, you know, that much more? You know, it's another step in the process, so we can't upload that ourselves. So we have to pay our service provider to take the background that you create, to upload that on the back end to create that unique booth. So that's really why it's at that level of sponsorship only. Above that, there are many other marketing opportunities. One of the things that I'm talking with people about is to start to think of this as not only an expo, but as a media platform. Because really, when you look at it, we are providing many of those same opportunities for brand marketing, for you to deliver your content. Our goal is to aggregate all of your users, to aggregate all the people you want to see coming through the United Fresh Live website, and then you have the opportunity at different levels of sponsorship. How much of a profile do you want? So bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. If you noticed when Bethany was showing us the lobby, there were 6 logos on the back wall. Those are our current platinum sponsors, $50,000 and above. So that's a big ticket item, I recognize, but that's why you see those particular logos on the back wall of the landing page. So every single user is going to see that and have the ability to click through to those. So that's a quick overview, John. I know you and our team here at United Fresh would be glad to talk with anyone who's on the call today about opportunities for you to participate.
Great, thanks, Tom. I'm going to keep you on the spot for one more question.
Okay.
Can you talk a little bit about the strategy for leaving the site up for 3 months? Why are we leaving the site up through the summer?
Yeah, it was an interesting discussion we had of how much do you force into just the week of convention? In fact, 5 days worth of programming is longer than we would have done in San Diego. But we thought, let's make it United Fresh Live week. But then the extended value of having that marketplace, of having an ability for you to drive your customers. Somebody wants to learn more about your business, they can come to this site. Sure, they can go to your website individually. But again, what I'm hearing from folks, and I keep using the retail or food service example, I should do the same thing on operations executives. If I'm looking for new packaging, where do I go in July? Where do I go in August? Yeah, I can go to each individual company's website, but I can go to United Fresh Live in July and August, search on packaging, and I can see all of the packaging providers that have a presence on this site. So we are beginning to think about this as a longer term strategy to create opportunity. Driving live participation during the week of June 15, but we're going to keep it up all summer. We said September 1st is the deadline. And something I will talk about here kind of toward the end, but I'll just jump in now. Might have said this doesn't replace the in-person events, and I totally agree. I cannot wait until I can shake hands again, until I can hug somebody, one of my dear friends in this industry. So we're going to be back live someday. We just don't know when, but this may be a very effective complement to our live in-person events. We're going to have live online events as well.
Great. Thanks, Tom. Mary, I've got some questions for you. How do you make your booth discoverable in a virtual platform? I think we've probably already addressed some of these questions, but, can you speak a little bit about the trade show organization and how best for people to find your exhibit?
Sure. So Bethany talked a little bit about how our expo halls are organized. So how you would be discovered just naturally through the navigation. The search feature, though, is really one of the more robust pieces. And I know Tom just touched on it, Bethany's touched on it, but you as an exhibitor, when you're in your booth builder, will have the opportunity to essentially add keywords. So very similar to your site engine optimization features that you would do with a website, with your current company website. You're going to want to put some keywords in there, broad, so that you show up in a search like packaging, or much more specific to your company, whether it's a branded name of a product, you want to make sure that that's in your keywords. So if I go in there and search for a very specific product, that your company is going to come up top on that list. And again, this is not just during the week, but it's 24/7 all the way through September 1. So that search feature is quite robust.
Great, thanks so much, Mary. There's some questions about attendee list. How do we know who's on the platform? When can we chat with them? Mary, you want to try to take that? I know it was kind of answered earlier, but try again.
Sure, thanks, John. There's a couple different ways you can see who's on the platform as well as who's within your booth. So we did already talk about within your booth, you can see who your guests are. A list will populate. And we've all kind of talked about how you can engage with that person once you discover them. But what Tom had started to touch on and Bethany was showing us is that in your My Profile, you can see all of the users on the platform. So our effort right now is to drive everyone across the industry to register for United Fresh Live, which again is free for registrants, so that they are captured within that platform and they'll be available when you go in to look at everyone that's participating. And then again, it's a simple click onto their profile for you to be able to direct message them or send them an email within the platform itself. I do want to note that emails are hidden, so you're not going to be able to go into somebody's profile and capture their direct email out of it, but you will be able to direct message and email them. It will end up in their Outlook or Gmail, whatever email platform that they've assigned on the back end of their profile. So you're going to want to be in there just to engage with those attendees. We've already talked about how we're gathering attendees and how many we have in the platform currently, how many we're anticipating in the future. And we continue to work, especially with the buyer community, to ensure that, I'll use Costco for an example because Frank already lent us a nice testimony on our website, but to ensure that all of his staff know that this is a free opportunity for them. That's a buyer who in the past could only bring so many people to an in-person event, and that is who you got to engage with. But now, as Tom mentioned, everyone on his staff can be in the platform at any given time. They'll be registered, they'll be accessible, and they can now discover for themselves what's happening across United Fresh Live. So it really does elevate the opportunity of interaction through this platform.
Hey, Mary, could I share my screen for a moment? And I'd like to show folks the United Fresh Live website.
Sure.
Has that popped up for everyone?
Yes.
Good. So we do urge you to go to unitedfreshlive.org. Lots of information here on why attend, the schedule of events. But someone had asked, how do I know who's attending? So that's why I just thought of this, to call up the Why Exhibit page. So as you take a look, learning about the show, let me give you a click through. That's the Frank Padilla quote. But much more than that, something I don't know that we've ever had. We have a letter here to our exhibitors. And if you take a look, these are folks who are committed to using the site, to having their teams sign up and use it. And if you just look down the list of McDonald's, Walmart, Big Y, Tops, Albertsons, Allegiance, Harris Teeter, and down. I mean, this is just a small sample, but it's 20 to 25 key retail and food service clients who have already said we're committed to using this site. So if you want to meet these people, I can tell you where they're going to be the week of June 15 to 19. So thank you for letting me show that.
Thanks, Tom.
So we have a couple more questions about networking, and I guess I would defer to Tom or Mary on this one. If we don't buy a booth, can we still network like we did at old United conventions?
Gosh, I'm going to answer that. Heck no. What's wrong with you? But yes, of course you can. I mean, one of the real interesting things that our board approved on this, that I have to tell you, I was really impressed. We made this free. So our exhibitors are supporting the entire cost of this event. It's free for any attendee. Unlike the trade shows where you spend $400, $500 to have the privilege to walk on the trade show floor. It's another reason that we're going to be attracting a lot of new buyers, a lot of new people to this free platform. So if you want to log on free as an attendee and search around and message other people, you can, but we're asking for your support. Honestly, we've invested more in this by having a virtual platform than if we'd walked away. No, we don't have the on-site cost, but this platform ain't cheap. So I'm just going to be bold and say, we need your support. For $3,700, take a chance, join with us, have a booth, and then I'll be networking with you all week long.
Great, thanks, Tom. I think that wraps up most of our question and answers. So Tom, I'll leave it with you for any closing thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, all of you, for joining us. Thank you, Maida, so much for your participation. I'll leave it with our community. So when we first made this announcement, one of the things that I said in a short video, and I think I was, hadn't slept in 3 days because of all the other things going on, but I said the United Fresh Convention has taken place every year since 1904. And some of you don't know that. This organization is 116 years old. And we were not about to let the coronavirus stop that. We're bringing this community together. You are a vital part of it. So we ask you to join with us. Thank you so much for everything you're doing.